So hello everyone. Right now we are at Suomelina, and we have with us a very good physicist from UCL. His name is Sebastian, and so today we are going to asking about like his passion and about his life and about his days at UCL. So let's. Hi Andrew.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Sebastian. I am sorry. I took your supervisor's name.
That's okay.
I took your. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Sebastian.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
So, this is like a informal kind of podcasting. So, we are basically, I'll be basically asking you a few questions. Like,
Sure.
so
Go ahead.
it will like not so hard questions, like fun questions, which will like. By which we can figure out like what you are doing right now and what your interest like. Okay.
All right. Sure. Also, I
So-
think you're only catching half my head.
Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, man. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't jump in. Right.
So let's start with like your childhood days.
Okay.
So like in your childhood, like which subjects did you like most enjoy?
So I think I was always a very mathematically oriented person. The thing that I remember, the first encounter that I had is that I was in my first grade, and then Dad went and bought me a maths book that had all the years from like first to fourth. And I treated that kind of like a game, kind of like a puzzle, you know. I enjoyed it immediately. And I became very competitive with myself, as in I would learn by myself how to do things and get very excited if I could do a second year problem instead of a first year, or like in a couple of weeks I got all the way to fourth year. And I didn't know the theory behind it, but I could kind of figure out some of the answers.
So you're good at maths.
I was quite good at maths when I
Wow.
began, yeah.
Okay.
Because in Romania it's the very first years, it's a division between maths and Romanian being the kind of the two important subjects that you study most of.
Yeah.
So I was more inclined towards maths from the beginning.
Okay. And then what happened in high school?
So, well, in sixth grade, so before high school, like a couple of years later, in sixth grade, Olympiads start.
Okay.
It's like this very competitive thing in Romania that you'd get sent to if you were somewhat good at any subject.
Yeah.
And then I was sent to both Romanian and maths,
Okay.
which were again the two big things. I did quite well. I did better in maths than in Romanian, but I was also quite good at Romanian. The thing that kind of demotivated me was that I was like 13th place locally, and the top 12 places were girls. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do the maths thing. So yeah, I stuck with maths.
Okay.
And then the next year I failed pretty bad because I did so well the year before. I went to the nationals. So the next year there was a lot of pressure, I feel. So I did very bad. I scored the last of the list because I panicked and couldn't do anything.
Okay.
But I did well in physics.
Physics.
And so I went with physics from there on, just
Okay.
because I think I got a mental barrier from the maths.
Okay.
So I moved.
So for your bachelor's, you chose physics.
For my bachelor's, yes, because, well, it was the thing that I'd studied the most during high school,
Okay.
and I felt I was very prepared to do that,
Yeah.
and it felt like the natural continuation of my studies.
Okay. So you did your bachelor's from?
I did my bachelor's in Oxford.
Okay.
I did physics for 3 years in Oxford. It's
Okay.
like an integrated 4-year with a master's. So I did 3 years physics, then I moved to theoretical physics in my 4th year for like
Wow.
the master year.
Okay. So can you tell us about what was your like thesis about during those days in masters?
What happened?
What do you have a thesis kind of thing? No, masters?
Yeah. So my thesis was on Weingarten calculus applied to measurement-induced phase transitions.
Okay. Measurement-induced phase transitions.
Yes.
What are they?
So measurement-induced phase transitions, you have a circuit.
Okay.
It's generally a brickwork circuit, which
Okay.
is a bunch of unitaries. Generally, if you take each unitary is like on 2 local sites, and it's sampled from the Haar random group. So it's a random operation that you apply between things. And then you do measurements as well. And if you don't have measurements, the entanglement grows. If you apply measurements, this kind of projects your local spaces, and you have a transition into a low entanglement. So each qubit becomes only entangled with its neighbors, not with the entire chain as it normally would go. So this is what I studied. We made up our own model.
So is your PhD like the continuation of that stuff, or?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No. So I finished my, this was in Steve Simon's group. In Oxford. And then I moved to Andrew. Andrew is more.
How did you meet Andrew? Like,
how did I meet Andrew?
Or did you just send him an email?
I sent emails to a bunch of people. I felt like I wanted to go into quantum computing at the time. And Oxford was not so close to industry.
So you wanted to be like more closer to industry. That's
I felt UCL had closer ties to industry, and that would project better into making a shift into the quantum computing industry rather than academia.
So can you tell us about your present research, like what you're guys presently focusing on?
So the thing we're working on now is in the field of tensor networks. There are these specific class of tensor networks for 1D systems of low entanglement, which is the matrix product states, so MPS chains. Andrew is very good at dealing with those, and there's a numerical side to it. So numerical people use it a lot because it's very simple and there are a lot of very powerful algorithms. I'm more interested in the theory, so like the geometry of these spaces of tensor networks and things like that. For example, studying chaos. So the thing that I presented now is a relation between how a wave packet spreads on this manifold on this geometrical structure of the MPS and the entanglement growth beyond what is purely captured by the manifold itself. That's one thing. What we moved on to was that we try and develop a path integral formalism. So Feynman path integral is typically done with spins and product states of spins, which are kind of the most classical thing to think of. We want to do it so that the paths themselves are kind of entangled to a small amount that can capture some very interesting states that don't normally fit into this product state. So complicated systems with very complicated ground states that have nothing to do with just product states. So you take a reference state that is an MPS, and then you do fluctuations on top of that on the tensors themselves, which is like a more complicated version of typical path integrals.
And it has close ties to the industry as well, because industry is more they are also that's why you are working on that, like, because you can go to industry.
I did a couple of internships where I focused more on quantum computing parts. I thought before I take that route, I wanted to do something very analytical, very theoretical. So I asked Andrew to give me a project of that sort. So we came up with something that was not related to anything, but just theoretically interesting that I found cool to work on. So I didn't really care about how it would fit into quantum computing, but I do have ties with quantum computing people because I'm in UCL.
It's quite nice.
And you learn quantum information tools, which are very useful anyway. But they're separate because I wanted them to be separate.
It was quite nice. Thank you so much for interviewing. Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed it.
And all the best.
Thank you.